Hey team, it's Ripper here. Hope you guys are doing great. I got a topic I want to talk about the King Kong Godzilla franchise thing that they just released, and this is more of a, I would say, my opinion and personal service announcement after reading, seeing, verifying a lot of the things that have come. So if you guys like the video, go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit the bell to notify the channel. We're on our way to 100 subscribers. We love the support and appreciate those that have helped us along the way. So the background video is a Colbert. I love Colbert. It was one of my first or second Research Bureau ships that I had to grind in order to get it. But it's pretty fun, awesome. If you need the build, whatever, you can obviously comment or message. But it's basically a standard concealment cruiser build, and just really focused on the range. The guns already fire fast as it is, and my commander is Dash Pervova. And she basically is just really designed for concealment, fast fire and reload, the HE, and more concealment, if you will, like I said, and just to be able to be notified of incoming fire so we can maneuver. All right, so let's talk about the whole Godzilla King Kong release. If you guys haven't heard, Wargaming and World of Warships have partnered up with the company that does the King Kong versus Godzilla. And I'll even do this to promote that movie. Honestly, I watched it. It's really great. I loved it. It's the sequel, if you will, or the new release of the Monarchy, going beyond the Godzilla movies and the King Kong Skull Island movie, where King Kong and Godzilla actually meet up for once and begin to fight. And that's actually what precludes leading into this discussion of Wargaming wanted to make that really look cool, because there was a Navy scene in the movie, and King Kong and Godzilla was a really awesome scene, by the way, fighting on an aircraft carrier, jumping from cruiser to ship, and just fighting and battling in the water. It was really cool, and it led to a great, I would say, ability or scene or reason to incorporate World of Warships in this, and I thought that was amazing. I was like, man, this is going to be really, really awesome. So when I saw it for the first time, they actually had the Amagi, which is a Tier 8 battleship or cruiser, I believe. I think it's a battleship, and in the North Carolina, and those were the two Tier 8 ships that were selected to basically not only put a camouflage on it to symbolize King Kong and Godzilla, but they also put the actual creatures on the ship themselves, which looks really, really cool. Now, here's the two problems. First one is price. They are charging literally what they call doubloons. If you don't know what doubloons are, that's the currency they use. You can either use dollars to get it or play the game and get it slowly, but majority of people select the pay money to get these coins or doubloons, as you want to call them, in the game. And you use that to purchase things like, things like camouflage, ships themselves, upgrades, and just like a basic video game, pay to play kind of thing. And the doubloons is roughly in the 20,000 range, I believe, for just the camouflage and the commander itself, Godzilla, on it, and to also hear the voices of Godzilla and King Kong. That you're talking about roughly about $70 to $80, or roughly around there. And they even spell it out. If you want a package, I mean, you could be spending up to $150, I believe. And it's almost kind of outrageous to spend $150 on digital products. Now, I don't really mind that, because I consider myself one of the whales, and I like to spend money in a way. Hey, it's you spend money the way you want to do. This is entertainment. I mean, some people spend $200 to go to Disneyland. Okay, so a lot of people spend money different ways. I choose to spend something that I can not only invest but also build this channel, but also have a great time as well, and to also share with other people that, like yourselves, that are watching this video. It's pretty awesome. So the cost is the first thing I kind of critiqued, is kind of outrageous. $150 just for not a brand new ship or anything. You're essentially just getting a camouflage, and I believe you may get that Tier 8 or North Carolina or whatever. I guess you are kind of getting a ship, but for $150 for camouflage and so forth, it seems kind of outrageous, in my opinion. But again, that's their model. They want to do that to spend money on a game. That's the Wargaming's business model. They elected to do that. I think it was a bad move on their part, kind of like when they did the Puerto Rico fiasco a long time ago. They were trying to sell a ship in a dockyard event, and it really was almost impossible to get unless you spent a lot of money. Again, business is business. They want to do it. That's their way. That's their model. We can critique all day. They're not going to change because it's their model, and I don't blame them. You know, I'm in business myself. I like that right to be able to conduct my business in my current way. However, you have to realize there is a customer base, and sometimes it behooves you to listen to see what they're saying in order to retain and also promote. So what I really saw was there was actually the first week of this event, so many complaints. People said that, wait a second, I thought I was buying a ship that you would actually see the monster on the ship. And it turns out, according to, if you read the description before you buy, they said that the creature or the animal, like a Godzilla or King Kong, do not appear in the game. They only are on the ship what is called your port. So in the in-game waiting screen, the waiting area, where you're just looking at the ship sitting there, that's the only time you'll actually get to see it. And I was like, wow, that's it? So really, I'm just buying a model. I'm just buying a model. I'm just going to sit there and stare at it. Well, I would say that's a negative aspect of that right there. So I would say Wargaming should probably change that. That's my opinion. I would say that you're able to play it in-game because that's what you are purchasing, right? The other, the problem that Wargaming answered after that, so that, you know, a week or so passed with all these negative comments of why can't I see the creature in game? Well, the reply was that I believe Wargaming and the company Toho or Tono, whatever, that actually owns the rights to Godzilla and King Kong, I think, and again, I don't see this in writing anywhere, but Wargaming says that basically they don't want to honor the creatures and not degrade them or basically show them in a negative light. They don't want to show them sinking in the game. So because if obviously it's a game, it's going to show, you know, warships shooting at each other, and eventually one of the ships will eventually sink, just like all the other creatures that are in the game, like Transformers, these other Halloween events, like other mystical creatures that Wargaming has already done. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. Google all the types of ships that you know, Wargaming has released and the commanders and the creatures they put on the ships to make it look cool. Go to Google and look it up. I mean, actually, the most recent one that I actually bought into was the Transformers event, which was you would literally have Megatron and Optimus Prime sitting on the Montana and the Grover Kerfers sitting on the cannons of the ships and actually shooting and wielding and firing, and then they'll actually sink with the ship if you blow them up. So I don't understand the logic there, that Transformers goes down and they sink it just normally, just fine. Not sure what's going on there. But also think about this. If they were really concerned about the honorable ability of the creatures, you got to realize that you could avoid that by, I've heard some contributors saying that you could have King Kong Godzilla, when the ship blows up, jump in the water or jump in the air and disappear. You could do that. Why not? Or, you know, if you think about it, you look at watch the movies of King Kong Godzilla. They get shot down by airplanes, helicopters. A lot of the movies of King Kong Godzilla shows them getting beat up by each other. They fall down, they fall in the water, they sink. I don't see the issue of degradation there. That's part of what the movies are displaying, is that these creatures are vulnerable, but they're invincible because they never die. Except for King Kong, maybe one in the older movies, he used to fall off the Sears Tower or something. He fell to his death. That's okay apparently, but you can't do it in a video game. I don't understand that. So I think that I go thumbs down on that. I don't I think that is a logical argument, and I don't understand. I think that's something made up, really. Because if that was the case, then you'd probably have to pull every single video, picture, whatever, of King Kong Godzilla on the internet and the videos as well. So that is a very inarguable point, moot point, whatever, and you can't defend it. The second argument that complaint that people were talking about was, why can't I have these in game? Is why can't I shoot them? So the response to Wargaming, I believe, I guess is not an argument, but actually the response to the complaints is that Wargaming says, oh, well, if we did have the animals or creatures on the ship, they look all funky and weird. It doesn't look like a ship anymore. It may cause problems with shooting at it. So in the game, you know, you have a reticle, as you can see on the screen. There's a green square circle there with an arrow, and you just aim at the ship that you want to fire. You pull the trigger, and your shells will go to that area that you aimed at. Now they're saying because most ships look like ships, but if you add a Godzilla or King Kong on it, it would deform it and make it look odd shapes and sizes. I used to be a programmer. I can see how this is, you know, very hectic about programming models and rendering them, as well as having a targeting system, a targeting program and protocol that actually will react to where you shoot and where the shells hit, And I think that that's kind of crazy. Wargaming is afraid that, well, if you aim at the creature's head, it won't hit the ship, it won't cause damage, won't cause, it will cause problems in the game. I'm going, you know what? I don't think people are going to be shooting at the ship or the Godzilla, and if they knew that, that's the reason why they bought this. They wanted to shoot at, just look cool in the game. They're not going to be shooting at Godzilla and King Kong. They're be shooting at the ship anyways because they realized we've been playing Warships for how long now? About 6 years. We are so accustomed to used to shooting at the ship itself. And if you actually look in the game, there are actually other rendering models of creatures. For instance, there's some kind of scorpion-looking thing. A Halloween event has some massive bat-looking thing on a carrier. I think it works just fine. They figured out a way to do that, and I don't see that as an issue. I think using it as a reason to not put the creatures in the game is a detriment to the game itself and to Wargaming's credibility. So, Wargaming, if you really understand or hear this, I would say that take the extra time, listen to your customers, and actually allow the creatures to be in the game. It won't degrade the creatures or dishonor them, if you will, but it also, you can program it in such a way that, yes, so if you shoot at Godzilla's head or something like that, the shell will just probably go through. You don't care anyways. It requires, the people will catch on real fast that they need to shoot at the citadel or the hull of the ship or the superstructure, not Kong themselves. I mean, the whole purpose of Kong being on the ship is really just look cool, and that's it. I mean, I would say that if on the Transformers event, shooting at Megatron and Optimus Prime didn't do anything anyways because they're so small, it's almost negligible, and really you're just shooting at the hull to get the maximum citadels anyways. I mean, that's the whole point of this. You're shooting at citadels to get maximum damage and to enjoy the game that way. So I think that overall, do not, and this is what I'm not going to tell you what to do. This is what I did. I did not purchase anything in this event. I did not even look at it, didn't consider it. I wouldn't even do it to do a video for you on it because I believe it's a waste of money. I think it's a travesty, and I think it's almost a scam, if you will want to call that, because you're advertising something that people are implying and anticipating as to previous events, because we're using precedent here. They've done these events before where you buy a ship, a camouflage, or a creature that is actually in the game. You can see it and play with it. And also the sound effects. The sound effects, if you listen to, is a dull roar. The only thing you hear is in the port, the waiting screen, the port. You hear Godzilla or King Kong roar, and that's it. But in the game, it's very, very quiet, and it still has the voiceover of a human being talking and telling you. And Wargaming's reasoning is, we need to be able to hear informative information. Well, obviously, we spent money to get in the game. We don't care about information. We probably played this game long enough that we don't need to know. And honestly, I think that's a poor reason. So honestly, I would not purchase this. This is me. I'm not going to spend money or anything on the Godzilla event. I think it's, unless they change it and allow the changes to occur, only then when we consider it, and they need to lower the price. So I hope you guys liked the video. Appreciate the likes, subscribes. If you'd love to support us, share, like, and subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you soon. Have a great one. Cheers.